fellow Minimaniacs, Mike the Pied Piper here, and I'm here with another deck profile video, set 10 deck profile video, and gotta be honest, this deck profile video I'm actually extremely passionate about, because I actually played this deck during set 9 at the Las Vegas Regional, and I actually got my invite. Did really well, performed well, and it's extremely aggressive, but like unlike some other aggressive type storm decks, like this one just keeps bringing it all game, mid game, end game, beginning game. Just really love this deck all around. The leader did take a hit. It did take an errata where they actually fixed it, or basically where now you can't activate his activate main or battle on your opponent's turn on his flip side, but it's still extremely strong. So I want to go through the deck profile. I'll bring this up here. There we go. So I use the Surgeku leader, and really love this leader because when it attacks, it gets to draw 2 and then you discard 1. So you're really filtering your deck and you're filtering your hand for the cards that you actually need. And then also, it can literally awaken whenever you want. All it takes is a red-yellow card, 1 red card, 1 yellow card, or just 2 cards, and then you're going right into your flip side. So I love the versatility of this leader, and it's just absolutely love playing it. So I'll go through what the leader actually does, and then we'll go right into the deck. So first off, the leader is when this leader attacks, you get to draw 2 cards and you discard 1. Pretty self-explanatory. And then on the Awaken, they call it Awaken Surge, because you can do it whenever you would like, is you take 1 red card or 1 yellow card, or a red, yellow, and a red card, or just 1 red, 1 yellow card, put it under this leader. You then get to draw 3 cards, untap 1 of your energy, and then flip this card over. On the Awaken side, he has an Activate Main Battle, which can only be used on your turn now, so there has been an update on this. It can only be used on your turn, but you can either A, give your leader plus 10k and critical, which would turn him into a 25k crit leader for the turn, or you can choose all of your opponent's battle cards and wipe out their abilities. And that even goes through barrier, so it literally blanks out the battle cards. Really strong. You can use these abilities at 5 life, so once you're at 5 life, you would just take 1 card under your leader, you would then put it in your drop area, and then you'd be able to use one of the abilities. So essentially twice per game. Again, you used to be able to do this on the defensive step, which when I was at the Las Vegas Regional, it was quite nice during your opponent's turn to go up to 25k, essentially equivalent to 2 sensu beans. However, this did change, so it did lose some of its defensive capabilities, but I can tell you right now, on your turn, being able to wipe out all your opponent's battle cards, abilities, blockers, indestructible, any of that, just wiped out, extremely powerful. So I'm going to get into the deck, and this deck, you'll notice, has a lot of interaction with cards from one another, so it's really hard for me to tell you where to start with the deck, but we'll get through it. So first, I really, with this deck, love SS4 Son Goku, a Heartfelt Plea. The deck, I wouldn't almost say centers around it, but it's really good because you can get a triple striker out literally as early as turn 1 or 2 with this deck, which is just absolutely insane. But what SS4 Son Goku, a Heartfelt Plea, pretty simple. It's a triple striker, energy exhaust, and then offering. Offering is when this card comes out, your opponent either crits a life or you're going to draw 2 cards. And then it has to auto choose one of your red battle cards with 25,000 power or more and place it in its owner's drop area. When your leader card activates Awaken, if SS4 Son Goku, a Heartfelt Plea isn't in play in your battle area, you may play this card from your hand. Now, there's a lot of easy and interesting ways to get out a 25k battle card in red battle card in this deck. But essentially, if you wanted to be extremely aggressive, you could get this card out turn 1 or 2 against your opponent and then just hit the ground running and just start sending all your battle cards out at them. So let's go through the different ways that you can get this SS4 Son Goku a Heartfelt Plea out. The first way is with the SS4 Son Goku Saiyan Lineage, which pairs really well with the deck. It has Barrier, and then the permanent, if your leader is on its front side, reduce the energy costs of this card in your hand by 1. So essentially it costs 1 red and 1 yellow. When your leader activates Awaken, draw 1 card, and this card gets plus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So the current ruling for this, and the ruling that I got when I was at the Las Vegas Regional, is when this card is played and you activate Awaken, the first thing you need to do is you need to show a Heartfelt Plea from your hand that you intend on playing the Heartfelt Plea. Then you pay the cost for the Awaken. That's when you would take the red and yellow card and you would put it under the leader. Once those 2 cards are under the leader, then you would draw your 3 for the leader effect. You would untap the energy, then you would draw your 1 because of the SS4 Son Goku Saiyan Lineage, which he then gets the plus draw 1 and then the plus 10,000 power, and then you would play the Heartfelt Plea from your hand. So that would be the order of effects. That's what I was told at the Las Vegas Regional. However, things may have changed. But as of now, that is the order of effects that you would actually do this. So that's one way that you could play the card. The second way you could play the card, and this is kind of new to set 10. Before, I actually ran the red-green package with this instead of using the red-yellow package. However, due to the new really cool Arrival cards that came out, I'm going with the red-yellow package for set 10, and I want to see how that works. So the other way is you could play these 2 different Arrival cards, which is King Vegeta and Vegeta Royal Bloodline, and Vegeta and Bulma Joined by Fate. Vegeta and Bulma Joined by Fate is the new set 10 one, with the Arrival red-yellow, where you have to pay a red energy. Auto, when you play this card, draw 1 card, so you get, getting card advantage. And then activate main once per turn, red-yellow, choose up to 1 yellow Saiyan card with an energy cost of 3 and 20,000 power in your hand and play it, which also has combo potential into this deck, which we'll get into. The other one, the King Vegeta and Vegeta Royal Bloodline, Arrival red-yellow energy exhaust. When you play this card, draw 1 card. Yay, get to draw a card. Then choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode with an energy cost of 3 or less and KO it. So you get that removal. Now you're going to notice that with these 2 cards, you're like, well, hey Mr. Piper, they're at 20k. Like, you can't use that. They're not at the 25k. So glad you asked. So there's a couple of ways that we can actually get them to the 25k in order for you to do the ability to get out Heartfelt Plea. One of them is you can use the Fearless Pan in the deck. In the Fearless Pan, we can actually cheat out with the Familiar Bonds. So that's the first way. You could essentially Arrival this first turn, and then you could turn around and next turn discard the Fearless Pan from the Super Saiyan Son Goku ability, the leader ability, and then turn around and play Familiar Bonds, which 2 or less, or 3 or less, 15,000 power, and then you can turn around and play the Fearless Pan in order to give it double striker and then give it that 25k. So that's the first way you can do it. The second way you can do it, which is quite interesting, which a lot of people don't think about it that you could do this way, is you'll notice that I run the 4-star balls in here and then cease to exist. And there's a good reason for that. Because essentially what you can do is you can say, okay, I'm going to attack with my leader. Okay? And when you attack with your leader, one of the things is you can use one of these activate battles. So the 4-star ball has it where it's activate battle, choose one of your battle cards or leader cards, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the duration of the battle. Okay? So what you could do is attack with your leader, use the 4-star ball, and say, I'm not going to give the plus 5,000 to, my battle or my leader card or the current card I'm attacking with. I'm going to give it to the battle, like one of these arrival cards, to get it up to that 25,000. And then you can activate Awaken during your attack, which is really interesting. Like, I love doing this strategy because a lot of people are, oh, wait, what? You can do that. The same thing would cease to exist. The exact same thing. It has an activate battle. Choose one of your leader cards or battle cards, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the duration of the battle. So again, you could even be attacking with that card. And let's say you're like, okay, I just want to give it the plus 5k using one of these two cards to get to that 25,000, and then turn around and then activate the ability. Your attack won't go through. They won't take a life because the battle card's no longer on the field. But if you're like, okay, I really want to get this triple striker out there, you definitely can do that. So there are a few different ways that you could use these arrival cards to get out this SS4 Son Goku Heartfelt Plea. So the next thing I wanted to get into is the combo that you can actually use with the Vegeta and Bulma joined by Fate, which has a really interesting activate main. Once per turn, choose one of your yellow Saiyan cards on the energy cost of 3 and 20,000 power in your hand and play it. Well, this card was meant, because the card just came out in set 10, to combo with Son Goku Absolute Annihilation. And this card is really, really, really good. Deflect, Barrier, and Unique, so you can only have one copy out. If your leader card is yellow, which ours is, your opponent can't activate extra cards unless they switch one of their energy to rest mode. Okay? This means that if they're going to use any extra card, they have got to use an extra energy and put it into rest mode. That includes if they're going to use their sparking ability to take a life, to take, use a counter. They cannot do that unless they put a card in rest mode. Now, I don't have the ruling on this yet, so you may want to reach out to your fellow judges. I'm pretty sure with Invoker, this also works against Invoker, meaning that, yeah, they can pay the red-blue energy to use the Invoker card and pay for its cost, but they would still have to pay the extra energy. However, I may be incorrect on this one. So we'll see kind of how the set 10 environment goes, but I believe this card would counter the Invoker. They still have to pay the extra energy. Because this one is an additional cost. So I believe they still have to pay that extra energy on that. But this is a really, really solid card that you could play using that Bulma ability, because it is a yellow Saiyan with 20,000 power. The other one that you can use, and a lot of people didn't actually think about this one, is Son Goku Dawn of Divinity. It is a red-yellow, or indeed a yellow Saiyan card that is 20,000, that you essentially could pay a red-yellow energy in order for you to play a critical 20k, and it has offering. So you're even getting more cards into your hand. You play this Goku, and it's like, okay, you want a crit life, or am I drawing 2 more cards? So there's a lot of draw potential in this deck as well. So the next card that I actually run into the deck, which goes with this King Vegeta and the Vegeta Royal Bloodline, is the Absolute Defense Great Ape King Vegeta, which I love this card. I absolutely positively love this card. You play this card on top of the Vegeta, it gives all of your yellow Saiyans barrier, including this guy. So all yellow Saiyan cards in your battle area gain barrier. And then the double striker 25k isn't too bad either. But what's really good is permanent. Reduce the combo cost of all Saiyan cards in your hand by 1. So you play this, it's almost like a defense as well, because now you're talking that, 10k combo cost, well, that's going to cost nothing. I mean, so right there you got 4, 8, 12, 16, 18 cards alone that I'm just looking on this first column that are in your deck, no combo cost, 10k. And then we're not even including, and then you got to add the Absolute Defense Great Ape King Vegeta, so now you're up to 21. And then the Great Ape Bardock Raiders Warcry, that is even reduced by 1. So, really, really solid card to play. It's both a offensive and a defensive ability because, again, now you can start tapping out your energy a little bit more per turn with this guy out because you're like, oh, okay, I can just combo up to my 10k a lot easier. It also helps your rival cards as well because now you can easily combo a red-yellow and you don't have to pay a cost for it. So I really, really, really do like this Absolute Defense Great Ape King Vegeta. Which will get me into the next card I'm going to go over, the Great Ape Bardock Raiders Warcry. I really like this card. Again, it's a card that you can play from your hand on your opponent's turn. So you're playing battle cards on your opponent's turn. It's also a defense card, and you're just bringing out a lot of big guys. The Great Ape Bardock Raiders Warcry, it's a double strike. If your leader card is yellow at the end of battle and once you combo with this card from your hand, you get to play it. When you play this card, you get to draw 1 card, so you're even drawing more cards. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So again, you're playing a 20k double striker, you're drawing a card, and you're switching one of their battle cards to rest mode. So it's a defensive card, you're building your board, yeah, you're just causing all types of havoc on your opponent. Alright, then the next 2 cards we'll go over that I play with the deck is the Determined Super Saiyan Son Goku and then the Triple Flash SS4 Son Goku. I do run 2 of the Determined Super Saiyan Son Gokus. It's a really good late game card to play because it is something that you can play with familiar bonds. So once you're down at that 4 life, you can then play this card. And then when you're down at 4 or less life, the energy cost is increased in your battle area by 2. So now it turns into a 5 cost once it hits the field, which means you can now actually EX evolve this directly into the Triple Flash SS4 Son Goku, which has Deflect, isn't affected by counterplay skills, Triple Strike, and then when you play the card, you get to draw 2 cards. So you're even getting more draw power. And then this even has the additional effect permanent. If this card's power is 40,000 or more and more, your opponent may not activate counters during battle where this card is attacking. Well, this combos into something. I actually run 4 of the combination attack pans. So the combination attack pans has a permanent ability. If a Son Goku GT card, or I believe, which is not showing up on this, I think it's Trunks GT2, with 25,000 or more power is in play in your battle area, you could play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. And then it has an activate main once per turn. Choose one of your Son Goku or Trunks GT battle cards in your battle area. It gains plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So essentially what you can do is, even once you get the SS4 Son Goku a Heartfelt Plea out, once you're drawing all these cards, if you have a bunch of these combination attack pans out, you just start laying them out. And then you can go activate main, and you can buff up either this SS4 Son Goku or even this Triple Flash SS4 Son Goku. And once you do that and they get to that 40,000 with the Triple Flash, your opponent can't even activate counter against the attack. Which, this has actually won me a few games. When I was in Vegas, a lot of people did not see this coming. And I'm like, okay, attack, and they're like, counter, and I'm like, you can't even activate the counter. So, not to mention a 40k triple striker coming after you is pretty darn good. So, the next thing that I do run, and I kind of went over it a little bit, is the Fearless Pan. What I love about the Fearless Pan is because you're playing so many red battle cards on your field for cheap, either with a rival or EX Evolving or what have you, or even playing them for free with Combination Attack Pan. Using it with familiar bonds to play a Fearless Pan for 2 energy, I mean, how can you go wrong? A barrier blocker that auto, when you play this card, choose all of your other red leader or red battle cards and gain plus 5k and double strike for the turn. So that includes your leader. So if you've got a very wide board and all of a sudden you play a familiar bonds and you play this Fearless Pan, Yeah. Your opponent can be in a world of hurt real quick, especially when you turning these guys into 25k double strikers. You're turning your combination attack pan into a 15k double striker, and you're turning your leader into a 20k double striker. And if you turn around and use its ability, you're now turning it into a 30k double striker crit. So I really, really, really love this Fearless Pan, and it's a blocker. You're playing a barrier blocker on the field. So after you overwhelm your opponent with your big old pile of cards, battle cards, they're like, oh, and then I gotta still attack you next turn and try to do life. So really good. Then I do run 2 of the Great Ape Son Goku Saiyan Instincts. I haven't had the need to run more than 2. I generally do use it twice per game. And this is just really solid because you're not drawing cards on your Awakened Surge side. You need an ability to be able to maybe keep the cards flowing. Maybe you have the energy, you just need cards. Especially those decks that like to take cards from your hand and put it in your drop area. Green's notorious for this. Having these in your drop area is just really good because it's like, oh, great, okay, I need some cards. I'll pay 2 energy, draw me 2 cards. Then we have, generally we do have our, well, not generally, but we have our counter attacks in the deck. We do run 3 After Image Techniques. Again, After Image Technique is a very, very good card that you could use that pairs well to buff one of these guys in order for you to get out the Heartfelt Plea. All you would do is your opponent attacks. You're like, great, I'm going to counter attack. I'm going to use this, buff one of my battle cards up to the 40k. Now the thing's at 60k when he's doing all of his combo stuff. You can just be like, oh, great, okay, I'm going to go ahead and awaken. And, oh, he's at 60k, so I meet the condition of him being over 25. And then you can turn around and play Heartfelt Plea. So, really, really good. Love the After Image Technique. Also, you got to put in some Champa the Tricksters because why not? It's just such a solid card. Champa the Trickster counterplay. Play this card. You got a multicolor energy. Costs 1 less, so 1 yellow, 1 whatever other energy. And then, yeah, auto, when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, Annoying Berry, switch to rest mode, then draw 1 card if it's your opponent's turn. Champa does go through deflect because it's not, the counterplay isn't the direct effect that's actually tapping or putting into rest mode your opponent's battle card. It's actually the auto, so the counterplay just plays the card. So, really love Champa the Trickster in this deck. It has saved me quite a few times. And not to mention, it's just another 15k battle card that you're putting onto the field. When over cease to exist on why I run it, it's because they give these guys the plus 5k. Also, it's great for removal, and it goes through barrier. And Invoker decks, we know that Vegeta's just going to be a big pain in the tushy. So we got to have a reason to move that. So paying the 3, it's not going to be that big of a deal in this deck just because of all the free value that you have. And then not to mention, again, it has that activate battle for the plus 5k when you need to get out your Heartfelt Plea. Finally, I do run the 4 balls because they pair well with Familiar Bonds, which means you're just getting great value. You pay 2 energy, you're playing a Fearless Pan or a Super Saiyan or Determined Super Saiyan Son Goku, or even an SS4 Son Goku Saiyan Lineage. You're also getting 2 balls in your hand. But the last one I wanted to talk about is the SCR, and this SCR, Black Smoke Dragon, Eternal Evil. The reason I chose this one is because getting cards in your drop area with this deck is extremely easy. You are not going to have any problem getting the cards in your drop area by the time you get to the 5 energy. So 12 or more, no big deal. And it just has an extremely solid effect. Excuse me. Activate main once per turn. You get to either A, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and send them to their owner's warp. You can B, send the top 7 cards of your opponent's deck to their warp area and draw 2 cards. Or C, choose 4 cards from your opponent's hand and send them to their warp, which I actually use C quite a bit. Especially late game, if they're kind of struggling with cards and their resources. I just drain them of their resources and just go, yeah, just, Yeah, get them gone. And choosing 4 cards out of their hand, if they have like a 6-7 card hand, there's a pretty good chance you're going to hit a card that they needed, that they were waiting to use. So, I really do like this Black Smoke Eternal Evil. I think it's a really good fit for the deck, especially with you discarding all the cards that you're discarding. Alright, so that is the main deck. You'll notice that it is 60 cards. That is actually intentional. One of the things that I do is kind of a background where I work. I do a lot of math stuff. I actually work for Amazon. I work from home. And I do a lot of math stuff, and one of the things I love is probability. And I looked at the probability difference between 50 cards and 60 cards, and what I need in my hand and what I need for the deck. And I find that there's not that much of a difference between a 50 card and going to 60 cards, especially when we have mulligans and the amount of cards that you're drawing in this deck, and with Super Saiyan Son Goku's ability that you get to draw 2 and discard 1. So you have a much higher chance to get the cards that you need into your hand. So I do run 60 to help because of mill and just the variety in this deck. Oh, I did forget to go over one other card. I just noticed here is the super combo. Some of you are probably like, wait, where's the super combo? I do use Whis' Celestial Moderator. Number 1, because we do have the arrival cards in here. And number 2, I just really love the super combo card, especially against one of their beefy battle cards. You play this thing, it's like, okay, I plus 10, you neg 10. So it doesn't go through barrier, but I also like this card because it'll clean up a lot of their pesky 1-drops or some of their lower power level battle cards that you get to remove from play. So really love this card. So next we're going to look at the side deck. In the side deck, I do run a few cards. Some of you are probably like, hey, why aren't these in the main deck? To be honest, these were in the main deck, and I'm kind of playing around with some of them, so eventually they may go into the main deck. So I encourage you, with you looking at this deck profile video, if you were really interested in building this deck, play around with what's in the side deck and what you have in the main deck. So first I'm going to talk about Beerus No Holds Barred. And I do have 4 of these in here. This is a really, really good arrival card. The reason why this ain't currently in the main deck is it doesn't pair well with the absolute defense grade 8 Vegeta. But this card, essentially it's a rival. You pay a red-yellow. So you got a combo of red-yellow energy, but then a red-yellow to play them. It is 25k, and it has an auto. When you play this card, you choose one of the abilities. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 30k power or less and KO it. This pairs really well with the Whis Celestial Moderator, because you combo this, and it's like, oh wait, now you're at, if it's a 40k attacking, oh wait, now you're at 30k. Alright, now I'm going to play this combo card to blow it up. Then choose up to one of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, and that card can't be switched to active mode till the start of your next main phase. This is really good. I did do this against some Gohan decks where they thought they were going to just keep activating their leader, and yeah, shut that crap down with Beerus. I was like, nope, and they were like, wait, what? That's an effect? Yeah, that's an effect. So it is pretty, you could use that. I don't know how much you're going to see Gohan in set 10. We'll see. I know with the recent U3 ban, I don't know if we're going to be seeing a lot of Storm decks. So right now this is in the side. This eventually may go in the main. But again, when it comes to defense stuff, that absolute defense grade 8 King Vegeta is so good. So the next card that I do run is Super Baby 2 I'm not even going to pronounce that. We'll just call it Super Baby 2. But activate battle, send this card from your drop area to your warp, choose one of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards, and it gets minus 15,000 power for the duration of the battle. Then choose one of your leader cards, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. I like this card for several reasons. Number 1, it does pair with because it is a Saiyan card, so it does have free combo power with absolute defense grade 8 Vegeta. You can also discard this card using Super Saiyan Son Goku's ability. And with a red-yellow energy, literally you're giving you're giving your leader plus 5k for the turn, which is, basically a Sensu Beam. And then you're minusing 15k power for one of your, one of your opponent's battle cards that are attacking. So you could even use this to blow up another one of their battle cards while something else is attacking. So it's really, really, it's a really solid card. I just kind of ran out of space. I wouldn't mind putting a few in here just because it is a solid defense card. So the next card I do run is Battle to the Death. I did run this in Las Vegas. I absolutely loved it. Just don't have room to put it in the main deck now. Battle to the Death, it does cost a red and yellow energy, and if your leader card is yellow, which it is, choose 3 cards, up to 3 cards in your life, and add them to your hand. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 25,000 power for the duration of the turn. So I use this against a lot of Invoker decks. And then also I used it against, in Las Vegas, a lot of the Piccolo Surge decks are like, well, I'm just not going to damage you. And it's like, well, you know what, guess what? I'll just do it to myself. So it ensures that you can turn around and you can use these, the leader's Awakened Side ability, because you do have to be at 5 or less life. Right now they are currently in the side deck. The other card, and again, I kind of want to make room for this card. So I am still playing around with this deck a little bit, but I just kind of want to give you guys like a overview of it. Is Beerus Biding His Time, and this is a critical. Only one Beerus Biding His Time can be played in your battle area, basically unique. And if you have a red-yellow multicolor card in your energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So essentially you could pay 1 red energy and you can have a critical 15k guy out, which can be quite troublesome. So, alright fellow Metamaniacs, that is my deck profile video. I really do enjoy this deck. Make sure you're taking some time to look at the different strategy. Like, there's other cards that could be added to this deck. There is that SS3 Goku card that anytime you neg someone power, you get to play for free. That could be ran in here. It's also really good in your drop area because you could pay a red energy to minus something by 5k. So you could get rid of some of those pesky cards, or it could pair well with the Whis Celestial Moderator to make sure you're getting rid of a battle card. So there's quite a few different cards that you can play around with this deck, but I absolutely still love this leader, even after the errata that they did on it once per, where you can't activate it on your opponent's turn. So I just want to give a special shout out. Thank you for our Patreon supporters, Trent from Tac Games and Renee. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And then also our other Patreon supporters who didn't want to be shouted out in particular. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And please like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are going to have Dragon Ball Super videos up at least once a week. Looks like they're going to be once a week on Thursday, so be on the lookout for those. And looking for what you guys would like to see for the next Dragon Ball Super video. One of the videos I was going to think about doing, and if you guys are interested, just give a shout out, give us a like, is I was looking at doing a probability video on basically how the cards, what the difference is on getting cards from a 50 card deck to a 60 card deck, and breaking it down and looking at the percentages to see, is it truly worth going down to 50 cards, truly worth going to 60 cards, or is there that happy medium? So if you guys are interested in that, like, subscribe, give us a comment, just say, hey, yeah, I'd like to see that video. And I'm a numbers guy, so I'd be more than happy to break that down for you. All right, hello, take it easy, fellow Metamaniacs, and I will see you next week.